I've got 6 o'clock. We will go ahead and get started. Councilmember Ray, would you please lead us?
Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you once again to bring us together, putting your arms around us. Bless us in all we undertake to do in righteous. Give us wisdom and knowledge to take care of business for the city of Jacksonville and its residents. In the name of Jesus, we ask and pray, Lord. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to our February 20th Jacksonville City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilman Deets.
Here.
Rupel.
Here.
McCleary. McCoy.
McCleary will be here in a few.
Ray.
Here.
LeBron.
Here.
Moss.
Here.
Twitty. Kinman.
Here.
Mims.
Here.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one absent.
All right. We have a quorum, so we will be moving on. You've got before you the minutes from our February 6th meeting. Be familiarizing yourself with those for next time. We'll have a vote on it. But right now, entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the January 2nd meeting.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
I would like to make a clarification on the February 6th minutes that were submitted. On page 1, where it says, in the first paragraph where it says January 2nd, 2025, it should say February 6th, 2025.
Okay.
Okay? That would be the previous set of minutes for February 6th.
Everybody got that? Date change there? All right, we have a motion, a second, and I'm assuming on your motion and second that you are good with the change as made.
Yes.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed by nay? Thank you. You've got your consent agenda. Entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented to you. We have a motion, and who seconded? Councilmember Kinman. Motion and second. All in favor of adoption of the consent agenda, please let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by no? All right, moving down, Ordinance 1777. Adam, would you go ahead and start your way up here, but entertain a motion to place Ordinance 1777 on the first reading.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second.
We're motioning.
Just to place this on, and then she'll read it. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCoy.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1777, an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for the purchase of a heavy equipment and trailer for the Jacksonville Street Department for appropriate implementation and access for the Jacksonville Street Department and City of Jacksonville representatives, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Okay, questions, discussion? Mr. Whitlow is here to answer any questions that you may have on that.
I do. On this one, it's declaring an emergency. What's the emergency?
We don't have to wait 30 days to get it.
Yeah, but there's no detail there, because according to state statute, it has to be detailed in the ordinance as to why there is a need. It doesn't detail it, that's blanket across. They shared with us in the recent training that it needs to be detailed, and it's not. It's a blanket statement across several of the ordinances that says for, so what is the public safety here that it's for? That's what the blanket statement pretty much says.
For the efficient delivery of public services.
How? What's the emergency there?
Adam, can you explain what the trailer is for?
I mean, this trailer is, this carries our heavy equipment. The current trailer we have is been repaired several times, and it's the trailer that we do our DOT testing on, and we've actually sent a group down, and it didn't pass. The guys didn't pass because it doesn't pass DOT standards. So anyway, this is the only thing we have to move our heavy excavators and bulldozers from place to place, so.
I totally
We'd
understand
like to
that.
replace it as quickly and expeditiously as possible.
Totally understand the need to replace it. I think my question is more around, it says emergency, so I'm just concerned about what the emergency is. Right, but according to municipal league and state statute, the emergency needs to be detailed in the ordinance to state why it is an emergency. That's the state statute 14-14908. And I read several of them, and it has the same language, so it's not detailing why it is an emergency. Not saying it's not needed, but what's the emergency?
Well, emergency is it, you don't have to wait 30 days for it to start effect. You can go effect the next day.
I understand that part, but what's the true emergency here? We don't want to wait.
So,
The detail needs to be stated in there why it is an emergency.
I guess my confusion is, what else are you looking for in section 4 that's not there? Because it says the immediate need for this equipment is necessary for the continued efficient delivery of public services, which is what Adam just stated. So
Yeah.
what additional information would you?
That's the same statement you've used in a different ordinance.
If it was for equipment, possibly, but for example, the other one for the rezoning, it does not have that same statement.
In the next one?
Same thing.
Where's the next
The
one that
same
has?
statement.
which
So
one
what I'm
has-
asking for is for there to
Hang on,
be
let
the
me answer your
detail.
first question before we
Okay.
move on. Which other one has that same language? No, my specific question was which other ordinance has this?
Give me 1 second.
Sure, take your time.
I know I've read it, that same statement more than once, and I'm just curious about the emergency. I'm not seeing that, and it could be a previous ordinance, but I know that's a blanket statement that you use multiple times, but
So you
it doesn't-
initially said that you'd seen it multiple times in this packet, so now
I
you're saying
understand,
you
and I
don't see it.
don't see that here, my apologies if it isn't here. I don't see it there, but what I'm asking you for is the detail around why it's needed.
And I believe I answered that question and Adam answered that question.
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
if,
We don't have another way to transport that.
right,
issue.
yeah, not that's legal at the moment.
What's that?
Spell out the emergency in the actual emergency section of the ordinance. That was updated in 2023 at state statute. They brought that up as being overused in our training, so I'm just asking for us to make sure that we detail why it's needed. Not just for the simplicity of not waiting 30 days, but to ensure that the ordinance details why it is needed.
Right, but my response is that this section 4 does not say that we don't want to wait. It says it's needed for the equipment. The equipment is necessary for the continued efficient delivery of public services. So my question to you is what more would you like to see in regards to specificity? Because I feel like this is pretty specific related to this trailer.
So are you saying that the emergency is so that it is necessary for the public welfare, health, and safety of the people?
The continued efficient delivery of public services. Adam, what type of equipment is this trailer used for?
So it would be our heavy excavator and bulldozer, so anytime we'd have to do any repairs related to excavation, drainage, ditch clean out, so like the road work, so like grading work, things like that.
And when you
would-
say
would be-
repairs, what type of repairs?
Drainage and grading repairs mainly.
Is that
Yeah.
related to safety at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. And there's the same line in ordinance 1777, so that's 1776 and 1777.
We're talking about 1777.
I understand, but you asked me where else was it found, and
No, I
that's
was
where it is.
asking where else you read section 4.
All right. Right now, we are moving on. Any other questions about this for Adam?
City to continue to move forward, it's a phrase, it's put in there a lot of times, unfortunately, it's kind of like, when I do a real estate contract, an attorney does it, they're all saying, it's the same language that's used because it complies, so I make a motion that we approve.
Well,
Well,
I have a question.
Well, there's no motion here. The motion is already in the ratings.
Hey, Adam, have we,
Councilman Troy.
is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Have we used this company before?
This particular company, no. We went to the company we've used that sold the type of trailer we have, and they were high. So as a matter of fact, we went to, the Load King is what we have now, and the Load King we've got 2 bids on that, one directly from the manufacturer and one from their distributor. And their distributor was actually the low bid, of $46,820. The manufacturer was $51,778. So that prompted us to look at other bids. And one of the reasons we're not trying to circumvent the process here is typically equipment that we deal with on this nature would have a source well number, would have a state contract type bids. But trailers are somewhat, I guess, considered custom built. They're not. Their manufacturers got a catalog and they make, you tell them what you need. So these are all apples to apples, but there's really no way to do a competitive bidding. It's not a service per se. And it unfortunately went over the threshold of the 35,000. So we did get, quote type bids and done our due diligence on this. But because they're over the threshold, we're seeking to technically need a waiver to do this. But, no, the Overbuilt Trailer Company, we've never used them specifically, but they are in Oklahoma, right down the road from where we get our garbage trucks. So they're within.
So you're familiar with that?
Yeah, they're within driving distance, and we were actually gonna drive down and check them out before we actually pulled it home, but council kinda came first. We haven't made that trip yet, but,
What kind of warranty do you get with this? Is there a warranty with them?
yeah, there is a warranty, and I'm trying to remember what it is, see if it's stated on here. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was specifically. It was comparable in warranty to the others. And I can't remember if it was a 1 year or, I believe they were 2-year manufacturer's warranty. I couldn't swear to that.
That's fine. Thank you.
Adam, how old is the trailer we're replacing?
Oh, I don't know. It's been repaired several times. It's been a good trailer for us, and we'll still keep it around, but it's kind of to the point it's been repaired so many times, it's pretty rough looking. Like
Well,
I
in
said,
paragraph 2, it looks like you have talked to people about different quotes, so.
yes,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
We're not talking about a bid, but you're talking about a quote. I
Right,
think
we've got four quotes.
That's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, the packet that I laid on your desk there, that's actually in red. That's the 4 quotes that we have received that all met the requirements. There's close to apples as we can get for a solicitation, for just a quote type solicitation.
Councilmember Cleary, were you on that?
She asked my same question.
Okay.
Adam, is the trailer that's being considered for purchase, is it very similar to the one that Iron Bull gave you a quote? That's what it looks like?
Yes, yeah. These are all like 25-ton Triaxle, it's got a tag axle, so we don't have to have 3 axles on the ground at all time, which is a nice feature. Keeps our tires from tearing up too much. But yes, they're all similar in nature. Triaxle with the third being a tag axle, 25-ton axle weights that'll carry what we need. All similar length. I think there was we looked at a couple variations in the load mechanism, a tilt trailer versus a lay down ramp, just to see what those options would run. This was still the cheaper one of all, and actually had all the preferred all the options that were on this one as well. It has a like our current Load King. It has a tilt trailer as you pull the equipment up on it, and it tilts down. But it actually has an assisted down, whereas the one we have now, you actually have to, when it's unloaded, a person has to stand and jump on it. This one actually has a hydraulic assist where if you don't have the weight, you can turn the hydraulics on and it will go down itself while it's empty, which is kind of nice that we didn't have now.
How long will it take us to get this one?
I was looking to see if he stated that. I want to say he was about 6 weeks out. The Iron Bull was a 10 to 12 week lead time. I think this one was shorter than that, because I think he had the frame and everything pretty well already on site.
Other questions? If not, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1777 on first reading and suspend the rules in place on second reading.
So moved.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets. Aye. Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary.
Aye.
McCoy.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman. Mims.
Aye.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1777 on this date.
So moved.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy. Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
All right. Then finally, entertain motion to attach the emergency clause.
So moved, the emergency clause.
Motion
Second.
and second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy. Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
All right. That takes care of ordinance
Thanks.
1777. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you on that. Moving on, ordinance 1776, reclassifying 700 Gregory Street from R0 to C2. So entertain a motion to place ordinance 1776 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1776, an ordinance reclassifying property of the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, amending ordinance numbers 213 and 238 and the land use map of the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. And Councilmember McCoy, I would agree this one is vague and actually
Same statement.
modify that to, I'm sorry?
It's the same statement.
Yes, but not as the previous ordinance, which is on it. Correct?
Part of it is the exact same wording.
The welfare, health, and safety, yes, that is the same, but everything else is different. This part, I can send Susan a new copy that doesn't have it, that's all I have.
Just the detail of why it's an emergency.
Councilmember Deets, like to speak towards this?
Planning Commission, it was brought before the Planning Commission, last week before. Everybody, was kind of in agreement. They're gonna take the Jacksonville North Pulaski School District is taking the school that's now torn down in a vacant land, So it's 10 acres, which with I-57 coming through, there's so much need, or gonna be so much need for some more commercial land, especially commercial land that doesn't have older buildings and things that need to be torn completely down. They wanna come in and have a place to build. This works perfect. So, after a little bit of discussion, even some neighbors across the street was for it. The ordinance passed that we wanted to allow it to go to be commercial. It has to have some other regulations. When something comes there, it's gonna be like quiet, but that'd have to come back before the planning commission, and it would have to have some guidelines attached to it. But we did want to change it to commercial.
It's this,
Behind Western Sizzler.
yeah, this is what was the Warren Dupree lot right behind Barn Hills. So, Councilmember Moss.
Thank you, sir. I have a question. It's going from R0 to C2. What is C2, and is there a C1 or a C0 on this? And I guess my question is, since the old Warren Dupree and it's in a quasi neighborhood, what is C2? What does that mean? And is there a step before that, 2 steps before that? What does this mean, and what type of business can go there?
Yes, there is a C1, and generally speaking, the higher in C2, C3 classes you go, the more intense the use. And I did not bring with me the uses by right on what a C2. To give you an example, I know Walmart is a C3, so retail. So C2 would be comparable to like a business or commercial. It does allow some retail establishments, but it is a step down in intensity from like a C3 use.
When you say a business, what kind of business though?
I don't have the use by rights with me. Let me look. Brian, can you?
That's the use right there.
Here, let me see if I can pull it up real quick
We got it right
for
here.
us.
Adam, it'd be more like a quiet type business, what we were originally talking.
Quiet would be a C1.
Right.
Office building.
Oh, it's just the city of Jacksonville.net.
And
Just
I guess that's my question is, looking at this, it says a C1 is quiet commercial, a C2 is shopping center for commercial. And I guess my concern is for the citizens in that area. When they moved there, I don't think they were planning for a shopping center that was across the street. I think they were planning for a school, but I don't know if they were planning for a shopping center.
some of the discussion at the planning commission, a lot of it revolved around those terms. But as the school district and the staff brought up that, with the new Gregory Street Bridge that's coming with construction, I mean, this area has been identified as a transitional area. There will be a heavy push down Gregory Street to eventually transition to commercial. This would be the stereotypical way that you would want to see that transition happen in that you start right at the border with the existing commercial. So you start at the C3, you step down, and then you would gradually see that, ideally step down as you go further down Gregory. Just a point of note, the planning commissions, it's a rezone, they are public hearings, they are advertised, their area is posted. We actually had residents from across the street show up in support of this. So they felt like the planning commission staff that this was a transitional area. They saw the benefits of their property, benefiting from a possible transition in the future too, with the new bridge and the new traffic patterns and such.
Adam, the other side too, remember, that backs up behind the Mexican restaurant, and you've got them apartments there. And all that on the other side's already commercial. They've already got all that.
It backs up to what?
It's already changed. Well, the Mexican restaurant's across the street, John Splits.
It's down the
So
street.
all that
It's
on
not backed up.
there is already up to the duplexes there on the other side is already commercial. It's already zone commercial. We changed that a year and a half ago. So all we're trying to do is make where there'll be available commercial space, which is what we need in town. We don't know what's gonna go there, but it would have to come back before the planning commission. But a good example of why does this make sense? Y'all we're comparing to Cabot. If you'll go down 89, Cabot was nothing but houses. Where the Walmart is and all that, we sold a lot of that. It was houses. Once the businesses move in, the houses sold, and that continued to grow. That's why all these areas, Sherwood same way, look on Keel. You gotta have a place to go, and, you know, that's one of the best areas where you can go with that new interstate bridge and that coming. I don't think anybody's gonna build.
That's future planning.
And that's what we're lacking. We're still we're staying behind, but you have to move forward on some of this stuff. And that is how Sherwood, Keel has grown, Cabot's grown. If we keep everything like it is and it's residential, when you got an area for commercial, we're not gonna grow and you're not gonna get businesses. If you
So-
don't get businesses.
I have a question for you, Mike, though. You're talking to grow, and I understand that we all want to do that here. But what would be the harm of going to C1 instead of C2? Since there are I have had a few phone calls, not a lot, but I have had a few phone calls. They're concerned exactly what would we put over there, and I couldn't answer because I don't know what's going to go over there. A doctor's office is one thing, but a strip mall or anything that's going to cause a lot of traffic or late night business, they're not happy with that. So what would be the harm of going from C2 back down to C1, which is a quiet and instead of a shopping?
If we done that, we'd have to come back later to.
Well, and then if we continue to build on down, then we could face that as it came to us.
But what's gonna happen, Mary, I think, is it still has to come before us to get approved. And then we would look at it and make that decision at that point. Because there's a lot of them, that come before us that we would not want. But what's gonna happen is, I can already tell you, the piece right before it's gonna come in next month, and he wants to switch his corn piece to commercial. He's good for
C1, if it's over there by the
Well, but-
neighborhoods.
Yeah, but that limits you so much to what you can do. You know, not everyone, they're not doing as many offices, is my problem with that. So the strip malls and everything, you say it'll be open late. I wish ours downtown was open late, everything shuts at 5. You know, so I don't know what it's gonna be used for.
Well,
But
and that
I'm
would be
just
fine
saying-
if it wasn't across the street from neighbors or backed up to
She
neighborhoods.
wants it. Both of them are here.
Yeah.
I have several who have already reached out. I don't know that everyone is aware. I would say C1 would be more feasible to ensure that, and if we need to come back, we come back. But to ensure those citizens are protected, we need to make sure they have an opportunity to speak, and you can always go up.
We can go back.
Adam, let me ask you this. What, if it was a church, is that a C1 or a C2?
I think churches can go in either. The uses by right in C2, the stated uses are any permitted use in C1, beauty and barber shops, bowling alleys, churches, accessory buildings, convenience goods and services, daycare facilities, financial institutions, firing shooting ranges, indoor theaters, parking lots, public buildings, public utilities and right-of-ways, private clubs and lodges, private public facilities, professional and general offices, restaurants, retail consumer goods. That's the uses by rights. Let me see what C1 is by comparison, because some of those are going to be the same. So the permitted uses in C1 are churches, accessory buildings, schools, community facilities, public buildings, public utilities, right-of-ways, professional general offices, hospitals and clinics, funeral homes, financial institutions, barber shops, laundry pickup, coin-operated laundries, pharmacies, and daycare facilities.
Any call for the vote, Mr. Mayor?
Well, not if there's more
We
questions.
don't have a motion on the floor.
Let me ask this question real fast.
Sure.
If there was a school there already, why is it already zoned C1 or C2?
I'm assuming the school probably predated what the zone was. I mean, you can have schools in several other zones too, the conditional use. So, and I will say, at the staff, we've got several calls from out-of-state people looking for property in the area. Walmart has a big pool. I mean, that's a big economic pool for other businesses. I personally think it's, this large of an infill track is suited to something that retail related. And I don't know that a C1 is going to give you the flexibility to do what retail that you need. But that's just my opinion as a staff. Like I said, you know, I'm trying to look into my crystal ball, seeing the bridge, the you know, overpass coming there, and with Gregory being a nice, you know, it's already got an existing 80-foot right of way, which is a big nice right of way for our, you know, ties into Marshall nice. We kind of identify this as a transitional area to commercial. You know, whether y'all see fit for C1, C2, that's y'all's decision. But the applicant asked for a C2.
Councilmember Cleary,
I got a question. Do y'all have like some buyers, like somebody that's kind of looking at that now?
We don't have any buyers at this time that anybody's looking at, but we've had a lot of inquiries that.
Do it.
has
The school
people
district.
looking for that type of property.
The school was
In a lot of
applying
different
for it.
areas. I mean, but.
They don't have
All right,
anybody.
Hey, let
on
me
the
ask
hook that
one
I
thing
know
of
of.
clarification. Councilmember, did you said are you involved in this, or is that just, are you with the district, or is
No, I'm not.
Mr. Gray? Okay.
I'm not involved in all. That was, this, you know, Dr. O and Daniel and them come from,
Yeah.
of course, asked for the C2. I don't have any, I'm more on the city side to try to get some business in there, and I'd love to have, you know, I don't know, the retail business brings you sales tax. You know, a lot more than a doctor's office and all that gets paid through, things. So that's one of the big things, and that's what we're lacking.
Yeah.
Sales tax.
Councilmember McCoy, you were wanting to ask a question.
Yes. So in the C1, you could still have small retail like, correct?
It does not say, it does not give retail, community buildings, public
Small
buildings.
scale retail like grocery stores, dry cleaners, local restaurants, etc. But in the C2, for example, if a restaurant comes that has patio and they want to build there, they have that in C2. You could have a late night hour on the backside of neighbors in that community. And you've got loud for however long, for how many hours, and they're partying or enjoying dinner right in the backyards or front yards of those residents,
I would say,
based on that C2.
yeah, I would say this though, in regard to that, there are still noise ordinances within the city that would supersede that. So, as far as noise, late night noise goes.
But that would be right there in their back or front yard, correct?
It would be in that area.
We also open the possibility here, of any homeowner that is in that area, such as the houses that are on that new road that's to Walmart, that they can potentially come to the planning commission and say, I want my property now zoned commercial.
We're gonna see that.
We're gonna,
Yeah.
I see that happen in the future.
Yeah.
And, cause now that property sells way more than what a residential property sells for. And they don't care, I mean, you talk to somebody, money and dollar signs, then they'll just pack up and move, and whoever takes over, they'll knock it down, and we're talking commercial space there. Or an area that's like, James Street, where, what Cooper and, Century 21 did. They took houses and made them, office spaces. So, I mean, I think we are gonna, planning commission will see that.
I hope so, because we sure need some new businesses and restaurants. You know, and-
Thank you, Adam.
Sure.
Appreciate it. All right, so I entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1776 on first reading and suspend the rules in place on second reading.
So moved.
We have a motion. And second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
Cleary. McCoy.
Nay.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Nay.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
All right, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1776 on second reading, suspend the rules in place on third and final reading. The motion,
Motion.
or is there a second? Second? All right, motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy.
Nay.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Nay.
Twitty.
Aye.
Hinman. Mims.
Aye.
All right, entertain motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1776 on this date.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and multiple seconds, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy.
Nay.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Nay.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
And then finally, entertain motion to attach the emergency clause.
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy.
Nay.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Nay.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
All right, ordinance 1776 is therefore passed.
Thanks, Adam.
Excuse me, what? Or just,
I just said, thanks, Adam.
oh, okay, I thought you, never mind, sorry.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, moving forward, ordinance 1779, amending and integrating the city code with updated rules and procedures for city council and municipal officials. Entertain a motion to place 1779 on first reading.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy. Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1779, an ordinance amending and integrating the city code with updated rules and procedures for the Jacksonville City Council and municipal officials and for other purposes.
Councilmember McCoy.
All right, so one of the things that we're required to do at the top of the year is to review our rules and procedures, amend as appropriate. There was one ordinance on file that had just Robert's rule, the parliamentary procedures, not any actual rules and procedures for how we conduct meetings and such. So it's laid out here so that we have it moving forward, and at the top of the year, we review it to see if there are any changes or anything we want to change to it and such. So that's one of the things we're required to do. Any questions?
Any questions or discussions on 1779?
So this ordinance only created one section. We've already had the rules covering everything else, but they've been modified. The last section, I believe it was section 7 is the only new code that will be added. The rest of it has just been modified.
Any other discussion?
Well, I'm just gonna bring up that, hey, Adam, I guess we're still working on getting a lot of our codes changed and updated to our rules and regulations. They're working on that for us.
Let me interrupt here. That's actually not pertaining to
I know it's not,
this.
it is important because it's been a long time and.
But when I say, you can wait till old business?
I'll do it.
Okay, that's fine. That's the perfect spot. So,
My.
any other discussion on what will be ordinance 1779? If not, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1779 on first reading and suspend the rules in place on second.
So moved.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1779 on second reading and suspend the rules in place on third and final. Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1779 on this date.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and multiple seconds, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
very much. 1779 is now enacted. Ordinance 1775, authorizing franchise agreement with Unity Fiber. Entertain a motion to place 1775 on first reading.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets. Aye. Rupel.
Aye.
Cleary.
Can you say that louder, please? I didn't hear you.
Hey, microphone,
He
there you
he
go.
abstained because he works for.
Conflict.
Abstain.
Thanks for clarifying that, Susan.
Councilmember McCoy, did you?
Aye.
I said aye.
Okay.
Ray. LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Woody.
Aye.
Kendall. Mims.
Ordinance number 1775, an ordinance authorizing a franchise agreement for fiber optic data management, digital information services, and electronic transmission communication services within the city with Unity Fiber LLC and for other purposes.
All right. Adam has stayed up front because he's gonna get called up again as the Adam Show tonight. This is actually, Unity Fiber has purchased one of our pre-existing companies that was already here and had fiber in town. And Adam, I believe you said that the existing franchise agreement had expired, and so this is putting new in place.
It had, and I can't remember if it was MCI or MCI Verizon or, but they had purchased the remaining assets of that, and so our engagement with them has been from the standpoint of they're spot repairing existing infrastructure, and this came to us when they were repairing an existing handhold access point outside City Hall, and we said, hey, you don't have a franchise agreement, and we got to check in, so they coordinated with Stephanie and just trying to make them legal.
I
So
think the number one question that I have been asked by this, and others may be wanting to ask it, does this involve delaying of new lines and going through subdivisions and so forth?
it has not, they have not presented me with any kind of a regional expansion such as we've seen from Brightspeed and Right Fiber. I'm not saying that certainly doesn't exclude that. They can, but to this point, the requests, the utility right-of-way requests we've received from them was specifically just spot repairing the existing infrastructure. So I don't know if we'll see that in time. But you know, this does allow that, but it also allows us to permit and place requirements on that franchisee and hold their feet to the fire. So that kind of works in both avenues for us when they do come.
Any other questions? Wait, one second. Councilmember Moss.
Is there a specific area they're going to serve?
I have not seen a service area as of yet. No, and I unfortunately I don't have a good idea of. We don't really have a record of what that infrastructure had before. So
Councilmember Cleary.
So is it mainly fiber that they're running, doing?
that's was my understanding, but I couldn't swear to it. That's what they wanted the franchise agreement for. I believe Stephanie includes.
I work for Unity Fiber.
Oh,
Okay.
Come up here if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Please come up and you can go
Yeah,
over to where Adam
I guess
is.
I don't have a whole lot.
State your name and, like I said, work for Unity.
Yeah, my name's Chris Taylor. I'm the field operations manager for Unity Fiber. We're stationed out of Little Rock. I live in Cabot, so I mean I do cover this area.
Okay.
So I mean, if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
So are you guys running any new fiber, or this just existing, y'all took over somebody's plant and it's just?
So, like Mr. Adam was saying, we are in the process of merging with Unity. I mean, Unity is merging with Windstream. So Windstream already has pre-existing fiber in the area. So there is a merger in place that sometime this year is scheduled to wrap up. So it'll be one asset pretty much, and yeah, it'll be that.
Y'all gonna do like a ring around the city or just?
Right now, there aren't any plans for a ring around the city. We currently have one customer that's in Jacksonville. That was the reason we were trying to get the agreement to do. Yes, sir. We have one customer here in Jacksonville right now, and obviously we'll be trying to get more customers.
Get the address, no, I'm just kidding.
Come on, man.
And the reason is kind of comical, but everybody knows I work for Xfinity, and you guys will be doing, we do fiber as well, so just to joke, but actually competition is a good thing, so.
Never hurts.
Yeah.
Never hurts.
We shake hands like.
Yeah, I got you.
Any
I'll
other
say.
questions?
I have a couple questions.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you're out of Little Rock, you said?
Yes, ma'am. Our company, our corporate office is actually based out of Little Rock. We're down on 21 Riverfront Drive.
Okay, so if there was a problem, like we cut other utilities or whatever when we're digging for the fiber, which has happened in the past.
Yes, ma'am.
That would be a call that Adam would be making to someone in Little Rock?
So, yeah, if a fiber for Unity Fiber gets cut, yes, I will get a call.
I'm talking about if Unity cuts Xfinity, let's say them.
Oh, yeah, all right. So if I hit Comcast.
Or any other
I mean, that
utility
has
or
happened in the
whatever else.
past with some, I mean, we've had, Adam can attest to that, we have had a lot of problems at the very beginning of some others before in our neighborhoods cutting, other wires and then, or laying their cable or fiber across, the front yard or across a driveway.
Okay, all right, so that's,
Regional expansions, large regional expansions
Right.
of Brightspeed, and they all hadn't went real smooth.
okay, so I can
so
answer
that's-
that. Unity Fiber, currently, we do not do fiber to the home. We do enterprise sales, so we sell to businesses in the area. So we're not gonna be running fiber in backyards or anything like that. Most of our stuff goes down the interstate, and then we'll branch off and go down like main roads. Like I know we have a big line that runs right down this road right here, goes all the way back out and ends up in, Maumelle. So,
So if there was some kind of damage, is that, do y'all contract somebody to come fix it, or do y'all have in-house people that fix?
no, man, we do not have in-house people. We will contract someone to come fix it. Our response time is probably one of the best in the state, so.
Question,
Brightspeed told me the same thing.
I wasn't gonna say that,
I'm a
Ricky.
lot bigger than Brightspeed, I promise you.
Yeah, go ahead.
so right now, you all are only servicing, business, commercial, and are there, could, Adam, us potentially approving this, could they look at have the rights to go residential and be back in neighborhoods and residential areas?
The franchise agreement essentially allows them, the use of our, the franchise agreement essentially allows them the use of our rights of way and easements to distribute their network through a permitting system. So, if they were to expand, anytime they expand and use that right of way to expand their system, they've got to meet a standard to which we can hold them to. I mean, and yes, even that standard, it's not perfect, but ultimately, I do have recourse even on the issues we've had. You know, I have not had to act on any of the bonds yet. You know, and for example, this last one, I have a $50,000 bond. Without the franchise agreement and the use of that permitting system, we don't have that same mechanism. So, yes, they would have that potential if they wanted to try to do that.
To the council, my concern on that is the area where I'm at, Stonewall, Foxwood, Loop Road, all that, Brewer Bailey, we've had 2 fiber companies come in the past 2 years, and they have busted more water pipes than I could even imagine. They have, I mean, we drove by one house one day, and it looked like Niagara Falls raining on somebody's house. Well, the area where I live, it went from no communication lines to the front of the houses to now we have residents with 2 flush mount boxes in their yards. And we're at the point now in these residential homes, there's no more room to put boxes, or there may not be any more room to bore lines. Because I don't know why it's what they do, but they bore on the same side as all the utilities that the utilities run. And I guess that's common practice, but these guys, they were coming in, they didn't do a good job. From what I've seen in the conversations that Adam and I had. And I know the residents that have reached out to me between Stonewall, Foxwood, the other areas. It's they're out of room and they're out of space, and it's
And I will say that the franchise agreement does not guarantee them that the right of way is of suitable width and has capacity to distribute their network. So it only allows them if there is capacity. For example, if the situation exists that Mr. Rupel brought up, if basically all the space in the right of way is already taken up with existing utilities, then it's a first come, first served basis. It's whoever has superior rights is there first. So that's one thing I've made clear in the last two, that just because as you draw your plans there, you got to yield to the existing right of way. So in that case, they would have to get private easements or something to that nature if they were to do that. But once again, yeah, with the franchise agreement, it's kind of it's the mechanism that one gives me a little bit of permitting authority, and it's a fee. It's a 4.25% fee that the city gets back. And if I'm not mistaken, I think our annual budget, we get something in the neighborhood of about $1 million a year with combining with our franchisees to general fund.
They're pretty much taking over lines that are mostly there with Windstream. Right. But yeah, to be completely transparent, the franchise agreement does allow essentially the use of our right of way, but it is reviewed under a permitting type system through our office. So we do try to curb that bad behavior, contractor behavior as much as possible, but it doesn't stop things from happening.
Any other questions? If not, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1775 on first reading and suspend the rules in place on second reading.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
No.
McCleary. McCoy.
No.
Ray. LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Nay.
Twitty.
Nay.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 nays and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses and 1 abstention.
So that is not 2/3.
That is not 2/3. I need 7 in order to approve and suspend.
So, all right,
So that means it has to come back.
yeah.
With more information.
So as of now, this does not move on to the next reading, so it is suspended where we are now. So now, moving on to ordinance 1778, creating Jacksonville Municipal Code. You see the numbers, modifying competitive bidding for purchasing procedures. Entertain a motion to place 1778 on first reading. We have a motion.
Second.
And second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
McCleary. McCoy. Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Kinman. Mims.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1778, an ordinance creating Jacksonville Municipal Code 3844 so as to modify competitive bidding and purchasing procedures for the city of Jacksonville, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Discussion, questions on this? Bottom line, the state every 5 years changes what is the or I guess minimum or maximum, however you want to look at it. For the 35,000 for competitive bidding, they raised for inflation and adjustments, and so the state has raised it to 42,000 and some change. So and the numbers actually there in your ordinance. Yes, but what this ordinance, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is not specifically going to a certain amount. It is an ordinance that says, okay, we will follow what the state does. Because like I said, every 5 years they change it. So this would be going in line with whatever the state recommendation is when they change that.
I think the last time it was.
Sorry. I was just going to say, but as a first-class city, we don't have to change it from what it currently is at the 35,000. We can keep it there, correct?
That is
So
correct.
this isn't mandated, this is
No, it's not
optional?
mandated.
Okay. And how often, if we are moving in this direction, has city council been asked to approve the disbursement of funds because it went over state statute?
Oh, man. Lots. I mean, from our buildings, fire stations, adjustments, that's the recent ones.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't as big of a jump, but it just keeps up with what the state does.
Yeah.
Any other questions or discussion?
I do have a question, being some of us new to this procedure. And this may be for Adam or in the office, even the finance office. If that trailer's 34,000 and some change, but they technically wouldn't have to come to us to ask for permission to purchase. How much more quickly would you have gotten your hands on that trailer versus coming to the council and getting the council approval?
Well, I mean, potentially, I mean, you know, you have council every 2 to 3 weeks, so, you know, we could have placed the order, you know, right when we got the quote, had we met the purchasing procedures. And you just, so, you know, if you don't know, the city does already have purchasing procedures for amounts, you know, up to that point. So we're required to get solicit three bids. It's just not a sealed bid per the state definition. So, like my example, for example, we would have to come up with a set of specs to bid apples to apples. And realistically, what happens is you find the trailer you want, they write the spec so tight that no one else can meet that spec. They may use a gauge material. So you're not getting the true, when you do some of those sealed bids for like these types of items, you're really not getting the benefit of what you think you're getting. So I would be in favor of that. Another example is right now we're needing to order another half-ton truck. They're all going to be over 35,000, but 42 and some change all fits that they would fit. So now we're bound, we can order those trucks if they're sourced well because they're state contract, even if they're over that amount. But this would give us the ability, not everything is sourced well numbers, but there's some that's a year model old that would give us the ability to look. We've got some quotes on some right now that are excellent prices compared to even the Sourcewell numbers, but because they're not Sourcewell, if this was enacted, we would actually be able to act on it and still do our due diligence and be stewards of the public's money and have multiple quotes. But, and that's just my case. I'm sure there's others, but.
And Mayor, who actually signs off on a purchase that's less than the state statute? Do you sign off on the agree to purchase or the department head?
The department head would bring it to me.
Bring it to you, okay.
Yeah, our BSNA, and Laura could probably speak to this. I mean, there's checks in the system that where we've got to show the competitive bids and so forth to even get shift it through the system. So on things of that nature.
Well, Adam, something else on that, you know, just like on here. What happens is, this bid's good for 10 days, for 12 days, says on here. You're getting, there's not that many, there's not a bunch of them out there that you can get.
Right.
So basically, someone else comes in that's got more money, and we haven't placed our bid, they can sell it to them. And, you know, they'll do that all the time if money's money. And that's one thing why when you bid all these, it takes so long. You know, there's cars, there's vehicles, there's trailers. Somebody else comes in, offers 45, and we've got the bid and we haven't signed it. They're gonna sell it. I mean, is that true?
Yeah.
They're not
I mean, like I say, my best example is the vehicle thing.
Yeah.
Because those move a lot quicker. The trailer, we'd probably been fine on. They'd probably honor that. But vehicles, they sell pretty quick. And with the, you know, we're still kind of dealing with post-COVID things. If you don't act on those fleet vehicles, I know police is, you know, they look through the list and man, if there's something there and they're needing it, you know, it stinks when you got to go through an extended process to bid. A lot of the stuff is Sourcewell, so we can, you know, we can skip that. But anyway, that's just an area where it would benefit me to see a little bit the higher amount. But I certainly will yield to.
Your question, the information you're looking for is put annually in the city clerk's report, State of the City. It happened 7 times in 2024.
In the emergency here.
By ordinance, 4 times, and 3 times by expenditure of funds through bidding and resolution.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Oh, he wants the number again.
You said 7 times.
7 times.
In
That's
2024.
the emergency here.
And this
It's
one,
the
this
same.
one is vague because like Adam said, this can be used for multiple different things. I don't have a specific, I'm not sure which department or what department is going to be using this for what equipment or service, so it is vague.
Right. So it couldn't wait the length of time, and it needs to be adopted. I mean, it needs to be active immediately.
Well, that, I
For
can,
him.
I don't have anything sitting out there, there's nothing else sitting out there right now that I'm for, I mean, it could, unless there's something that, there's a discussion we haven't had yet. I mean, it could go without the emergency because it would be enacted in 30 days.
And the reason I keep bringing that forward is because, again, that was something that was heavily discussed during our training that is overused, is the emergency clause piece in emergency ordinances.
Any other questions with that?
I would like to say one thing according to what she just made the statement of. This is the first year at Municipal League that they did have classes for new council. So for you that went, I'm glad y'all were listening. I think.
Any other questions on 1778? If not, entertain a motion to place 1778, ordinance 1778 on first reading and suspend the rules and place on second.
So move.
Have a motion?
Second.
And second roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
Cleary. McCoy. Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman. Mims.
All right, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1778 on second reading and suspend the rules and place on third and final. We have a
Second.
motion and second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
Cleary. McCoy. Ray. LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
All right, entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1778 and on this date.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Rupel.
Aye.
Cleary. McCoy.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
LeBron.
Aye.
Moss.
Aye.
Whitty.
Aye.
Kinman.
Aye.
Mims.
All right, ordinance 1778 is therefore enacted. And that is our final ordinance of the evening. There's a lot this evening. Next on the agenda is Resolution 853, urging support of proposed annexation of certain properties bordering the southern boundaries of the city limits.
Move to reread resolution 853.
Thank you. We have a motion to read.
Second.
And multiple seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay?
Resolution 853, a resolution urging support of the proposed annexation of certain real properties bordering the southern boundaries of the city limits of Jacksonville and for other purposes.
Move the adoption of resolution 853.
We have a motion for the adoption of 853. Is there a second? All right, motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting 853, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay? Thank you. So resolution 853 is carried. Next item, Councilmember LeBron.
Yes,
I believe you have a guest this evening.
I do. Do I need to introduce her, or?
Please.
Okay. Miss Karen Finney. She is the, she runs the warming center down at the First, I can never say the church. Presbyterian Church. And this year she would like for us to assist in finding a new place for the warming center. But I'll let her explain that.
Hi, I am Karen Finney, and I really appreciate you. Want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you. I'm here on behalf of the unsheltered who live in Jacksonville and on behalf of the Presbyterian Church. We've been the site of the warming center for the past 6 years, and we are now requesting that the city of Jacksonville assist the community of Jacksonville in locating a space for a warming center starting in fall of 2025. This is a service that is desperately needed. The last few nights, as you know, have been brutally cold, and for the unsheltered, it is critical that they find shelter. It can mean the difference between life and death. Our own citizens have acknowledged that this is a needed service, and they believe that the Jacksonville community needs to continue showing compassion and concern for its residents who have nowhere else to turn. We have already been fortunate that the city services are so supportive, from the sanitation department to the police department and others. Many local citizens have volunteered at the center, including some of you, and they have staffed the center and have provided food and clothing. And you can rest assured that Jacksonville has a dedicated, caring volunteers ready to assist. And there are several reasons why the First Presbyterian can no longer remain open as a warming center. The primary reason is our aging congregation. To begin with, our congregation is small, with only about 30 active members. Of those 30, the majority are 80 years or older, and we do have some 90-year-olds included in that. Of the remaining members, most of them are in their 70s, heading toward 80 very quickly. With age comes health factors, and that limits the physical stamina required to run the warming center. Another factor is the facility itself. We have been able to provide sleeping spaces, sometimes just blankets on the floor, for those coming to the warming center, but we only have one bathroom for our guests. This is hardly adequate for the number of people seeking shelter from freezing temperatures. When we have 5 or 10 people, it's okay. When you have 30 people sharing one bathroom with a shower, it's very inadequate. For these reasons, our church will no longer be able to be the warming center. Our congregation will continue to support the center, just not in a managerial role. We've created an organizational manual, which we can make available, and we will donate all the resources that we use for the center, the cots, the blankets, the towels, the snacks, the lists of volunteers and donors, as well as the money that we have in the account that has been donated to the warming center. In case you're curious, the current criteria for opening the warming center is a temperature below 25 degrees Fahrenheit or freezing precipitation. We have worked in conjunction with other warming centers to set this criteria. It may seem early to consider what will be happening in the fall of 2025. However, planning needs to start soon so a new location can be established and ready to go when the cold temperatures return this fall. We hope you will sincerely and compassionately consider working in collaboration with other organizations to develop a new location for the Jacksonville Warming Center. With the already existing support of the Jacksonville citizens, it definitely will send a message that this city cares for its residents and respects its commitment to all its citizens, regardless of the socioeconomic status. So thanks for your time. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments I can answer, I'll be glad to do so.
My comment is thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do at the Warming Center. I do have a question. Have you all worked with other pastors in the city?
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
how has any of those churches mentioned opening up their space? I know I spoke with someone that at one point Methodist offered, they have 6 showers there, and they'd offered. So how does that Pastors Alliance or Churches Alliance look for you all?
No one has really offered to open completely. I think there's a worry about what's all involved. I think there's a fear that it's going to be too much for the congregation. I think if we could get this manual out, we've kind of divided up the work this year. Used to be I basically did everything, which was driving me crazy. So we have like 4 different coordinators now, which makes it a lot easier. One will coordinate the volunteers. One will coordinate the meals. One coordinates contacting social media and news media. And so it's breaking it down a little bit. So hopefully that if we can show this to the different groups and to you in the different groups, that it won't be so scary. And if we can get more people involved, maybe the church can just be like, provide the area, but yet the community will have volunteers that will take care of these coordinator roles so that it's not such a huge thing for one church. And
Karen, I
think
was going to
that's-
ask, you kind of walked into where I was going to ask.
Okay.
This year, how many different volunteers have y'all had?
Oh.
If you went down the list and counted up, how many volunteers have been there?
We
Can you
have,
give a rough number?
I have 2 pages typed this big of people that have volunteered. Those are people and organizations. We probably have about 39, well, I don't know if we have 39. We have quite a few that have volunteered to stay, but not near enough, because when we do our shifts, they run from 6 to midnight, midnight to 8 in the morning. So this is a long time for a person to commit to. So people, you know, it just kind of, there's another scary factor there. And spending the night and worrying about what it'll be like, I mean, it's the fear of the unknown.
I know
We have a
the-
lot more people, we have tons of people that will, I mean, you all, I think, have helped completely with food, supplies, you know, what do you need? Let me know. Blankets, clothes, you know. We have a lot of that, so but that's really helpful. And that's what I said here, the community is super supportive. So I feel like that they will continue to be so.
I know the answer to this next question I'm asking, but of that roughly 40 volunteers or so, how many of those are from your church?
I'd say probably 10, 7 to 10.
Seven.
So
Seven. She
so
just
the
counted.
majority
It's
is, the majority is from outside of y'all's congregation.
Yes, it is
So-
now.
So
Yes.
any other, what I'm getting at is if there were another church that has adequate facilities, and, I mean, there is help, is what I'm getting at. So
Yes.
they would not have to think that they have to foot this whole ministry on their own, that there would
Correct.
be other people that would come along and step in place to keep going what has, so.
Last year was the first year we've had these days of multiple. Used to be one day at a time, you know, a day here, a day there. But starting last year, and this year as well, it's been several days. And that has been a real burden and a real hardship to get that done. But, so it has changed, the perspective has changed a little bit. But I think I know the community will support it. If we could get more volunteers that will stay, if we could convince people to come and maybe do a shift and say, hey, come see what it's like. And they'll see it's not so scary. And they would be more willing to do that. I think with enough organizational people and enough just individuals, I think we could get a lot done. We couldn't have done what we've done in the past 2 years if the community hadn't stepped up. It would have been impossible. We'd have just quit. So the community is there to support it. I know they are. Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is good too, for those who are watching, who are not here this evening, to hear exactly what has gone on if they have not been a part of. And council members, everybody sitting here, and those who are sitting out front, if you have not, when they are in operation, go by, go see what they're doing. There are lots of things that can be done without having to work a shift. I mean, they do need hot meals, they need, towels washed. You know, they talk about the bathroom.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
to take care of them. So there are ways that the public can be involved without, you know, like I said, having to stay there. You know, if you've got a family, got kids, if you just can't do that, there are still plenty of ways to be involved. So,
Definitely.
Karen, thank you so much.
You're
for
quite
everything.
welcome.
Thank you for what you have done.
Thanks for letting me
And
speak.
Absolutely. Any new business or old business?
I'm just gonna touch base with Adam when I know we're not afraid.
Did it heat on with you?
Yeah, lean forward to your mic, your mic there, Mike.
Adam, I'm just asking about that. I know
Yes,
you're not-
yeah. James Walden, he did contact me. Talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he said he's nearing his initial review of everything. Now, as it relates to kind of what was brought up earlier, he's probably not going to get into procedural stuff. He's really focused on planning and zoning issues and how it relates to other things like code enforcement and something like that. That's his main focus. So he probably won't get into those procedures that y'all enacted on earlier. But yes, he's thinking in about a month he'll be ready to sit down with me and go over. And just so you know, there's already some stuff. So I've sent this to staff to get some input as far as fire and police, but I've kind of got a draft planning area boundary that I'd like to have a working session on with both the planning commission and the city council. Currently, our planning area boundary, where we can act subdivision regulations, our current ordinance, it just says 1 mile beyond the city limits, and that's the maximum statutory that you can go. But that does not really address adjoining cities and the overlapping territory where you typically take 1/2. Or really, what needs to happen is we need to look at it and say, where do we envision the city going? Where do we really want to plan? We don't need to just arbitrarily take 1 mile, because there's areas that are within 1 mile that we will never annex within 50 years. So there's no reason for our staff to be burdened by if someone wants to split 2 lots up to say, oh, we need to do half-street improvements there. So I've got a draft version of what the most aggressive planning area boundary that I have that I will be circulating here pretty soon for kind of a working session with planning commission and council members that want to participate. Don't feel like you have to, but just some guidance to look at. But I was wanting to get some comments back from staff, police and fire and water and sewer, what's feasible to serve these areas long-term, things like that. And that way we could speak intelligently in the working session. And that's kind of part of what James is working on too. There would be an ordinance and some amendments to code amendments that would go along with that, but that would just one small
Update our
part of it.
codes, because a lot of our codes are old and outdated, it's recent, and we know that.
Yeah.
But that would help us, and we could get them where they're more in line with, one code takes care of everything instead of 5 different
Yeah,
areas. So
well,
we know that.
You got conflicting stuff, as the
Yeah.
ordinances are passed. We've talked
Yeah.
about, we've got something in the code enforcement that conflicts the definition of driveway, conflicts with definition of driveway here, or paved area, or dust-free surface. We just had to address that. What does dust-free surface mean? Does it mean pavement? Does it mean gravel? What does it mean? So there's some clarification on things like that.
Thank you, Adam. Well, at this point in time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, we're done. Good night.
That's cool. Golly. I was about to.
Appreciate you. Log out and log in and clear everything. I just need to get access to the website.
Yep. Fun stuff.